Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's time for a match preview for Villa's game away at Sheffield United on Saturday.
Right then, Dan, Sheffield United away, Brammall Lane. Bit exciting. We'll start with this news first. We're actually going together for the first time.
Have I not been to an away game with you before? I feel like I have.
Not that I can remember.
I've been with Tom, so obviously it's probably the first time we've filmed a proper video away from home since we've done the Villa View, so that should be quite good, and hopefully we'll get some decent content out of it. But as you said earlier, whether the content's any good isn't really in our control, because if we don't win, or if it isn't a positive game, then no one's going to want to watch it.
Yeah, ultimately we're going to try our best to make the best video we can. Obviously that's what we always strive to do, but at the end of the day, if the football on the pitch isn't that great, then it's going to be hard to do that. Coming into this game, obviously Villa without a win in 3, Sheffield United have won the last 3. Is this possibly a tougher test than the Brentford game for us?
I think by virtue of it being away from home, it's probably automatically a little bit tough for us. I said it in my predictions at the start of the season, and I said in the podcast the other day that I make these one of the favourites to go up. I think they'll be near the top come the end of the season. They had a very positive first season back in the Championship last year, and I like what Wilder's done, and I think they'll continue where they left off. I think they'll definitely be in the top 6, and I actually think they'll be pushing for top 2 as well. As I say, I really like what he's done. So this is a really big game. I mean, we went there and got a great result in the last minute last season, so I'll settle for more of the same, definitely. But we haven't got Snodgrass to curling a worldie this time round. But this is the toughest game so far, and when you make the changes that we've made in the Cup and basically forfeit the Cup, I always think the game after you have to win. I mean, I think we forfeited the Peterborough game last year in the FA Cup, and I think we then won the next game, which I think might have been Sheffield United. I could have got that wrong, but I think it might have even been Sheffield United. Edit that out if I'm wrong. But yeah, we went there. We got the result, I'm pretty sure, straight after forfeiting the Cup, so it all gets forgotten. If you get knocked out of the Cup and then you lose on the weekend as well, it never looks good.
People will expect us now you always hear the cliche of now we can focus on the league, and if you don't win the next game in the league or you don't get at least some sort of positive result, I'm saying going Sheffield United away and getting a point is probably a decent result, and I'll definitely take that now. But if you lose again Saturday, I think it was 5 games without a win or 4 games without a win. People are going to be starting to ask serious questions at that point.
Yeah, it's 5 if you include the Cup, and even if we draw 4 draws in a row in the league, doesn't look great. I mean, I imagine that
still unbeaten there.
That doesn't put us far off what kind of points we would have been on at this stage last season. For all the saying that we're unbeaten, I imagine if we drew again, the points wouldn't be much different to this stage. Last campaign, and we know how.
Should look into that.
Yeah, we don't want that, because I came into the start of the season thinking if we make a good start, I think we'll have a positive season, because that's the thing we didn't manage to do last year or the year before, and without making that good start, we still had a relatively good season, finishing 4th. So win here, and I think a lot will be forgiven and a lot be forgotten. But if we lose, I think suddenly the pressure's starting to build, and even a draw, maybe the pressure's starting to build as well.
Well, we had that good start, so what happened after that? Why have we not carried that on?
I don't know whether not being able to break down 10 minutes, which knocks confidence a little bit. I mean, I think most people would have agreed that the Brentford result, we played well, and 2-2 was a pretty good result, especially with being behind going into stoppage time. I think most people would agree that was a good result, and we thought that might spur us on. But then we've managed to not capitalise in the next league game against Reading. I mean, we don't know how that will affect us. And obviously in football, the longer you go without winning a game, the confidence does start to get affected, and you do start to feel that the world's against you a little bit as a player, I'm imagining. But they're the ones, and the manager, they're the ones that can put it right. And would we be a month without a win or something as well if we didn't win, which again doesn't sound great. And you want to go into the international break on the back of a positive result, because again, you don't get the result, there's 2 long weeks without any football to dwell on it.
Yeah, I was just going to say exactly that same thing. You don't want to go into an international break not having won again. You sort of that you get the international breaks, the time to reset a little bit and take stock of where you are. And if you've gone into that without a win in 4 or 5, then it, there's, like I said before, serious questions need to be asked at that point. Done a little bit of research, not as much as Tom Julian's extensive podcast notes, but I've noted down that Ben Woodburn is a danger man, and he was linked with Villa, obviously on loan from Liverpool. He's a name that stands out on their squad list, but he's only got one start so far. So I don't know how much you've seen of Sheffield United. I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched them, because that would be a straight up lie. So is there anyone that you think that we need to be looking out for on Saturday?
I mean, Leon Clark was one of the top scorers in the league, wasn't he, last season? And I saw the other week Billy Sharp popped up with a goal.
Last minute, I think.
They've kind of just got astute Championship players that really know the league and have pretty much been in that league for their whole career. I mean, when we've signed some players like Whelan, for example, you're saying, they've got a bit of Championship experience, but he spent most of his time in the Premier League. A lot of the people Sheffield United have got probably haven't spent any time in the Premier League, so it's all people that do know the Championship. I mean, I'm not sure if they're still doing it this season, but they played 3 at the back last season, and kind of just the manager just sent them out to play, and they just went for it and tried to win games. I mean, I think at one point at the start of the season, or towards the middle of the season, I think they'd only drawn once. I think they were like winning. I think this must have been when we played them around Christmas. I think they'd only drawn once.
Yeah, it was either win or lose, wasn't it, for them? There was no in between.
They tend to just go for it and see what happens. So it'll be a really, really tough game, added with the fact that we're banking on making a good video, so I'm pretty worried about it. We've
both shipped a few goals this season. I think they've kept one clean sheet. We've obviously not kept one yet. So is this a game that we expect goals? As you were talking then and saying that they go out to win, I feel like that almost suits us, especially being away as well, that we can try and hit them on the counter with a bit of pace that we've got now.
I mean, you say the best we've played is definitely against Brentford, and you could point that really they're the only team that have had a proper go. When the game's a bit more open and a bit more expansive, it probably does suit us a little bit, because it's when teams sit back that we're a bit devoid of ideas and we struggle to break teams down. So it could be a good thing, but they're just a good side, especially at Brammall Lane. It's one I'm worried about for sure.
Yeah, I was going through their previous fixtures, and obviously I mentioned before they'd won the last 3. One of those was a late minute winner against Norwich, I think it was. It's those sort of little moments that you have in an early season where you turn 1 point into 3 last minute, and it sets you on a little bit of a run, and then they obviously go to Bolton away, who have had a great start as well. Hammer them 3-0, and then they're thinking, Villa at home, going into the international break, let's win again. So it's going to be a really tough game for us, and I'm really hoping it doesn't turn out to be a bad day for us 3.
Yeah, the fans will be looking forward to it as well, so there'll be a good atmosphere. The Villa away fans are always good. The Sheffield United fans are very good as well, and obviously Villa come into their place. It's a big game for most opposition teams, and I think it fits into this category that their fans will be up for it, and now what they'll want to go 4 in a row. I mean, it'd be a great time for us to suddenly find some defensive form and keep a clean sheet, because if we keep a clean sheet, the way they attack, you'd imagine there'd be space for us, and we'd probably get a goal or 2. So if we can sort the defence out, I think that's the main thing, because goals have. I mean, I think we can be more clinical. I think we can have better decision making in the final third for sure. Yeah. But it's the other end that seems to be the major problem at the moment. No clean sheet so far this season is not good reading.
I sent you a text the other day on WhatsApp saying, obviously I've not seen much of Sheffield United, but they seem to play good football, and I found a tweet to suggest that, and it said that John Fleck's goal for Sheffield United against Bolton ended a sequence of 16 uninterrupted passes involving 9 of their 10 outfield players. No Championship goal this season has had a longer build-up. I mean, I don't know whether that's an isolated incident or whether they're playing that style of play, that they're going to keep the ball, move it around and exploit some sort of space that we may leave trying to go forward as well. Is this an opportunity for Bruce to make a few changes to his team?
Much will depend on the injuries, to be honest. I mean, I understand Grealish should be back. That's a boost, because obviously we need him. I mean, at the time of us recording this, there's been no press conference, so we're not sure on the injury situation. If McGinn's not back, we've obviously got a like-for-like replacement in Conor Hourihane, just automatically would come in for him. Codger's a fitness doubt as well. I believe if he doesn't play, then God knows what we'll do, in all honesty, because I'm not sure he'll trust Hepburn Murphy in a league game, but there's no other strikers, so
no.
You think unless he's going to play Doma as a lone forward, which I don't really want to see, if I'm being honest, but it's the kind of thing I can see happening with Elmo and El Ghazi on the wings and a Doma or Codger up front. Let's hope Codger, as much as he can be a frustration, let's hope he's fit this weekend. I can't see him starting with Russian Hepburn Murphy.
Did we experiment with Andre Green playing up front in pre-season as well?
Yeah.
Obviously, he's gone out on loan now, so if we were desperate and Codger's out, maybe he'd have played in some sort of system that involved him playing down the centre, but we don't even have that option now. Like you say, I can't see him chucking in Hepburn Murphy, especially for a tough away game, but
We've been wrong before, Rolla.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he had to play Keenan Davis, didn't he, at one point last season because there was no one else, so surely the same logic applies to Hepburn Murphy now.
I mean, being a lone forward and being more of a Bruce player, it was probably easier for him to throw.
Yeah, true.
Davis, I mean, we don't know whether... I mean, I'd imagine if Balassi didn't play on Tuesday, he's not ready to start in the league.
I think it's international break, isn't it, for him, after the international break?
Possibly bench if we're short on numbers for Balassi, but yeah, unless we make a dramatic last-minute loan signing that I don't know about, striker-wise, we're going with what we've got, as far as I know. And obviously there's question marks over the defence again, but again, I don't see him changing it.
I was just going to say, at this point in time, obviously we don't know, so we are just guessing, and by the time people watch this video, they're probably going, well, obviously McGinn's fit, what are you talking about? So just to clarify, this is before the press conference. But yeah, defence, there was talk today about Elphick going to Hull on loan. There was a centre-back that we were linked with who's apparently now been pictured back in France to train him on his own, so that deal's not going to be done for Saturday, so... The defence is as is. We've got Jedinak, Chester and Elphick. Is he going? Is he staying? At this point, we don't know.
I mean, Bruce obviously doesn't rate Elphick. No. Doesn't trust him to be a starter. And if I was Elphick, I'd want to go. He's been a good professional since he's been at Villa. But if he's not getting a game now, he's never going to be getting a game. So if I was him, I'd think that I was best off away from the club to play some football, and credit to him, because not all footballers want to go and play football. They'd rather have the easy life and just come to training every day. So credit to him for that. But I'd like us to get this centre back again. I don't know much about him, but he sounds promising. But we need people who can hit the ground running straight away, really. And can he do that coming from France as a young boy? I don't know. We'll
move on to prediction then, because obviously who knows what the team's going to be at this point. Shall I go first?
Yeah. Oh, you did mine in the podcast.
Oh, did you? Well, I haven't got that far, so I don't know what you've said. Oh, actually, I have already picked, haven't I? Because we did like a little prediction league thing. I think I've gone 1-1.
1-1.
Maybe I've just totally made that up. I think 1-1. I think another draw. It's not ideal, but considering the opponent, I'd probably take it if you offered it now. But 4 draws in a row in the league, it doesn't look good, does it?
No, I'm going to go for defeat. I'm going to stay loyal to my podcast prediction. I'm going to go 2-0 to Sheffield United. I never get a good feeling when I'm at an away game, to be honest. And even though me and Tom have got a good record going together, I just think the fact that we're filming is going to absolutely curse us. So I'm going to go for 2-0. I think this will be the last bad game, and we'll come back after the international break and go on a run of undefeated or wins, hopefully. I think this will be the last bad result before we then go on a run. I've got a bad feeling. I can't see us going there and winning this weekend at the moment. So that's it for today's video. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this preview, then make sure you're hitting the big old like button and comment below with your thoughts going into the Sheffield United game. If you're not already subscribed to the Villa View with your post notifications on, then do that as well, because that really helps the channel grow. Obviously, you'll have heard us talking at the start, so you'll know we're going on Saturday. So we're planning to do fan cams. We're going to do a big away days video as well, and maybe some match reaction as well on the way home. So there should be plenty of content coming next week, and fingers crossed that we really do get a positive result, because I want those videos to mean something and be good. Once again, thanks ever so much for all your support. Stick with the channel, stick with the Villa, up the Villa. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.